This is 5:35 p.m. I would like to call the HOCP's board meeting to order. And I think we'll start with the opening remarks from Chelsea.
Yes, well, Happy New Year, everyone. I hope everyone's year is off to a wonderful start. We are excited to kick off this year as it pertains to the nonprofit and the work that we're doing. You can see we have a pretty robust agenda today, and really wanted an opportunity to touch bases with everyone. It's been some time since we had our last conversation around how we advance our mission, how we align on our work. And what we're hopeful of is that as we continue to evolve, and with one of the action items today that we'll talk about a little later, we can really fine tune our path forward that allows us to get the support we need around robust fundraising, as well as help us attract additional talent to our board. I do want to just acknowledge at the beginning here that all of you all have been tremendously valuable to the nonprofit, and we greatly appreciate you holding over. I think just about everyone, with the exception of Varun, is a holdover, so it is really critical, and especially helpful that you've decided to hold on with us. We know that for some of you who are more anxious to transition, that we really do need to get in high gear with bringing in some new leaders to help support us, so that we can make sure we have quorum and we keep the mission and the work going forward. So I just want to say thank you in advance to each of you, and also that is top of mind for us as well. And just the general sentiment, and I've spoken with Varun about this as well, is a request that you would consider holding on as we're trying to stabilize the overall. Hold on. My IT team, hit mute, please, as we're trying to stabilize and bring in this new year. So with that, I will turn it back over to you, Varun.
I also share the same sentiment as Chelsea does. A big thank you to all the board members who have agreed to stay on till Chelsea can take time and find some replacements. So thank you. So the next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the September 2nd meeting. I suppose everybody was able to find some time and review the minutes from the previous meeting. Are there any questions? Hearing none, I would like to ask for a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll motion.
Right. Any seconds?
I'll second.
Right. Great. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right. So the minutes from the September 2nd, 2025 board meeting are approved. And so the next item on the agenda is the FY 2026 financials through December 31st of 2025.
Yes. Thank you, Varun. Good to see all of you. Happy New Year again to all of you. And I hope you had a chance to review our financials. AJ, if you'd like to scroll down to page 8. Oh, you're there. Okay, great. So in general, this is just the cover sheet of what was included in all the reports. You'll see, of course, the impact of our Partner Fest fundraising. We raised a little over $107,000, which wasn't too bad for the first time we had an in-between year fundraising event, and also secured a grant from PNC Bank for $30,000 for a brand new program. So that has impacted our overall assets. And also, as we will see further down, there's been a lot of activity on many of the programs that are exclusively supported by HOCP. So that's why that's also reflected in this graph that you see before you. So going down to the next page, we see the balance sheet and the statement of activities. Again, our finance team produces these two reports, and I have my reports, which are the next two items after that, and they we do this separately and then compare, and so they all are aligned. We see basically just an overview of the assets and liabilities, and then the statement of activities. You see the next page. We do earn some interest. We have a checking account, but it's an interest-bearing checking account. So on our balance, we have some income there from the interest, and you see our expenses thus far through the second quarter of program expenses and supporting services. Our Partner Fest, as you'll see, we'll discuss a little bit further down in the balance in the budget to actuals, we spent less than we anticipated, so that's a plus as well. Okay, next, if there aren't any questions there.
And John, before you move forward, and I want to pause on that because it's really important. We literally were able to raise over $100,000 for how much money did we end up spending to host the event, John?
We spent, where is it, 18,500.
And so I would say that was a really good return on our investment. I think that our partners appreciated it. And it also was the first time that we did something on an annual basis. So I could only imagine it gaining more steam moving forward, but definitely wanted to lift up and also share great appreciation. This is the first time we're meeting as a board since the event. Share great appreciation to all of the staff members, John, and the public affairs team, communications team, IT team, who really pulled this off in short order, quite frankly. And so it was a really great turnout and a fantastic return on our investment. So just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you,
And
Chelsea.
Chelsea, I think we also had a lot of the funders in the room, which was nice.
Yeah.
From a stewardship perspective, it was just nice to be able to put faces with names with some of the folks that we've been seeing logos on things for some time.
Absolutely. And we got some great footage because they participated in these video charrettes for us that we will be able to leverage moving forward as well. So it was just wonderful all around. So, and thank you to all of you for showing up, for being there, for supporting us at the event. It was wonderful.
Okay. All right. Moving on then to the next page. We look at the budget to actuals, and this is again through the end of December. So on the income side, of course we show what we raised. We don't have a major fundraiser planned for this second half of the fiscal year. So any additional funds we hope to get through section or HOC Works donations and possibly secure some more grants, since we anticipate new programming in the future. And also as needed, we'll have to draw down upon our current assets, whether it's the HOC Works ledger or just our discretionary funds. And then looking down a little bit further, the expenses, there's some activity. A lot of the activity will be ramping up this second half of the year. You're probably used to this by now, because our second quarter financials have much different information than our year end. So don't be too concerned about not being at the midpoint in terms of our expenses. A lot of these programs will be ramping up in earnest this second half of the year. So you see, especially our new sections for all the particular programs, from early childhood programs all the way down through senior adult programs, especially the ones where there haven't been any expenses. There will be expenses this second half. Davida, if you wanted to provide any more detail to that.
No, that's correct. Yeah, the expense reconciliation is typically a month or so behind with regard to the way that we process expenses at HOC. But in addition to that, a lot of the programming happens in the spring, leading up until the summer. And so we're on a quick ramp up to have all of our programming take place. And we're, anticipating spending all, if not the majority of the budget here. And obviously you'll hear shortly about some spaces in which we want to reallocate funding for additional priorities. And those are just the few programs where we don't anticipate spending the entire amount that was allocated due to, just changes in our programming plans and staffing changes. Thank you, John.
Okay. And then, thank you, Davida. And then this activity, of course, is reflected in the next page, our ledger summary. I think that view, I don't know if you could rotate that view, AJ. For some reason, converting to PDF isn't always so easy. And for some of these spreadsheets, it's hard to have it work out. So you see, fundamentally, even though, well, on the restricted side, you see HOC Works and the Kids STEM. Just so you know, that Kids STEM is a reimbursable grant. So we're still waiting for the first tranche of reimbursement from the county. We are on budget to make sure that we don't overspend. And the opening balance, of course, that was before we received the payment for the last half of the previous fiscal year. So we are on schedule to be in the positive on that ledger. And then you see large numbers for expenses on the general fund. So that's, again, especially in the second quarter, you see 73,000. That's reflected by all the activity of the discretionary funded programs that we just looked at in the budget to actuals.
Any questions? So I guess, John, these numbers are still being reconciled, right? These are like, this is almost like just a couple of weeks after the end of the year, right? So you're still fine-tuning these numbers, I'm sure.
So yes, this is through December 31st, but there are several expenses that take a little while to be posted in our Yardi system.
Mhm.
So of course, we have our own program budgets that we follow to make sure that we are within our limitations. So
what's the rate of interest that HOCP is earning on the cash balance? Is it in a money market account or is it in fixed deposits?
it's a checking account. Believe it or not, we got, I don't know the exact interest. I could look it up once I don't have to speak anymore, and could report back on that through the meeting. But it's somewhere between 3% and 4%, I would think.
Okay. So yeah, Chelsea, there could be a small opportunity just to earn $10,000-$15,000 more. It seems to me that with $700,000, there's an opportunity to earn about $24,000-$25,000. I only see $13,000 in interest for past year, which seems pretty low.
Okay, I'll definitely add this as a follow-up item and bring in our CFO, our finance team. I believe they did do a review of our accounts at one point to determine which accounts might be best suited in terms of being able to earn more interest. But if you have other suggestions, so I can bring as an agenda item this back to the board as an investment kind of policy strategy, thinking about where we're holding our funds.
Yeah, even as in cash, it seems like the money markets funds might easily, without taking on additional risk, bring in about 3.5, 3.6%. From the math I can see here, it's half of that.
Okay.
Well, I'm looking at the bank statement from December, and we're getting 3.39. Now
Okay.
that 13,000 is just for the first 2 quarters of the fiscal year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's not
yeah,
calendar year.
then that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Mhm.
Thanks.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Very
John.
good. All right. So if no more questions, we can move to the next item.
Okay, great.
All right, good. So next item is an is an action item though, but I'm not sure if we do need an action on that, Chelsea. So it's for the acceptance of the 2025 annual audit. So myself, Teresa, and Ken, we met with the auditors just this past week, and they told us that the audit went well and there were no concerns. So it was a clean audit. A big congratulations to HOCP again and HOC for ensuring internal controls are strong. So what are the next steps, Chelsea? Do you want us to accept that that audit still? The board should accept it, right?
I do believe that it is recommended that we accept the audit. And so, John, is there there's an action item here, correct? That's my
Yes,
understanding.
the resolution is a little further down, AJ. So there it is, 26-01.
All right. So then, any questions from any of the board members on the 2025 annual audit? If
For me.
there are no questions, then I would like to ask for a motion to approve the FY 2025 annual audit 26-01.
Motion.
Any seconds?
One second. Oh, yeah, remember.
Okay, thank you. You were involved in the conversation. Thank you, Teresa. So for your vote of confidence, so the FY 2025 annual audit is accepted. So the next agenda item is the change of address with MD DAT. John, can you explain, or Teresa, can you explain that more, please?
Yes.
Sorry.
So, we have to keep an updated profile with the Maryland Department of Assessments and Taxation. And you may recall a couple of meetings ago, we changed our resident agent. We had to update that. And now we just have to change our address. But unfortunately, administratively, they require an actual resolution to make such changes to your profile. So that's all this is. We're only asking your approval to submit to MDAT this address change. You heard that Chelsea earlier in her opening comments that our headquarters is moving to 1328 Fenwick Lane, and we're all excited about that. So wherever HOC is, that's where HOCP will be. So
Are we going to have a housewarming?
We definitely should, and especially in terms of our next meeting in person. I really look forward to welcoming you all and giving a grand tour. So it'd be great.
Awesome. So I guess everyone understands what this resolution is for. So I would like to ask for a motion to approve 26-02.
Motion.
All right. Any seconds?
Second.
All right. Motion 2602 is approved. Thank you, John. Right, the next item on the
Okay.
agenda is an action item to approve, to update the address in the bylaws.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing when you have an address change, how
I
many
saw
different
these in
things
the
are affected.
and I saw these in the board deck and I was like, epitome of
I
anyway, it's
guess,
fine. It's just funny.
I guess there are no questions.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So if none, I would like to ask for a motion to approve 26-03. Any,
Motion.
thank you. Any seconds?
Second.
Thank you so much. 26-03 to update the address in the bylaws is approved. Again,
Great.
congrats, John. Approve the development consultant contract 26-04. I'm sure Chelsea wants to give some update on that
Yes.
before we deliberate on that.
Thank you. So directors, as you know, we have definitely had a great deal of conversation around how do we strategize to create constant buzz, awareness of where we may be able to raise more money for our nonprofit. How do we get out in the community? Oh, and if you could please change the page to that particular item, it'd be helpful. How do we really create a robust plan for fundraising, as well as we've had multiple conversations around, even as you all have approved additional slots on the board, thinking about how do we attract the right talent, some individuals in our community who might have and be well resourced that could also help provide additional connections for us and resources for us. A part of this exploration has included thinking about the potential of bringing in a consultant that can give us the support we need. You will see in this proposal, and I'd like to scroll up, that we've identified a very well-regarded and respected consultant company called English Hudson. If you could scroll up, that we have received a proposal from. This particular firm is in the Washington, D.C. area, but the principal actually lives in Montgomery County, so is very vested and is willing to offer additional support above and beyond this proposal to help support our work. And as you can see, the proposal envisions English Hudson providing us with a fundraising readiness assessment, helping us build our case for support, thinking through a fundraising and recruitment strategy for those vacant positions. Again, I'd like to revisit that discussion because as we go out and take those next steps after we get that recruitment, we'll look to this board to help with that vetting and figuring out the best fit for us, but definitely looking forward to being able to tap talent that might be able to support our mission. They will create a 24-month fundraising strategy, a donor appreciation toolkit. They will provide us with, and they have access to a confidential prospects list. They have information on high donors in this area and region that we can target. They also will help us think through some of the notables and some donor engagement recommendations. They will look at our overall approach, which has been really a collective of in-kind support from HOC staff in different divisions that have helped hold up HOCP. They'll give some suggestions and guidance around capacity and how we continue forward, as well as a staffing plan, and provide us with some strategies around our media and our digital presence. They are aware of the fact that we also are anticipating a great deal of exposure coming up here in the near future with regards to a big public outreach campaign where we did and took some wonderful video with and I'm losing the name of the program, but it's with Andy Garcia, and it's housing focused spotlight on HOCP that will be airing nationally over the course of the next year. And we were able to lift up the nonprofit. So we really want to bring them on board to help us leverage how we take advantage of that opportunity as well. All access with Andy Garcia. And so that's coming soon in the next month or two. And so we were able to negotiate what I believe to be a very reasonable rate for their services. And as you can see, this would be a pretty intense period of time until June of this year at a rate of $40,000. The full proposal was attached in the materials that were provided to the board, as well as profiles on the principals that we'd be working with. And I'd love to open for feedback, thoughts, and or questions here.
I have a couple questions. Oh, go ahead, Eileen.
No, you go. Go ahead, Teresa.
Are you sure?
Mhm.
A couple things. Chelsea, thank you. This was really thoughtful, and spent some time looking at their documents. I did not glean from the documents that we had somebody who, or one of the principals was here in Montgomery County. I did see that they had some other clients in the DC area, and I wondered if you had touched base with, as a reference point,
Yes.
And what feedback you heard.
Very positive. In fact, they come by way of a referral from an organization that used to be referred to as HAND and is now AND Housing. So Courtney Battle, who is the executive director of that nonprofit, is the one who actually recommended them to me initially. And they provide and are a great support for that organization, who is very lean. I think they might have 3 or 4 staff members, but they convene pretty effective large setting conferences as well as fundraisers. And so that was one of the connections. They also provide some support for another organization, Women of Color in Real Estate. I received positive feedback from their engagement with them. And so and I've heard about them even before that connection with Courtney. So they have a good reputation. And so that's the due diligence that I've taken on thus far. Mm-hmm.
Great. Eileen, you want to go ahead?
Oh, yeah, sure. So I'm just really excited that you're moving forward on this. So that's great. My only question really is 5 months enough? Or should you be engaging them for a little bit longer? I thought that was kind of short, to be honest.
And we would likely extend this engagement. We were thinking about the fiscal year, and so they created a proposal to get us through this fiscal year. My thought is that as they begin to do the work and we have a touch point with the board to see how we're feeling in regards to if this is a good fit for us, if we're getting the work product that we expected, we would then come back with a proposal to extend their contract and to have some additional support for a longer period of time. But they have committed to provide these deliverables that we've identified here in this time frame. If it slips because of even timing with getting them under contract, et cetera, we would definitely come back. So,
and if you were to engage them for longer, would they do any of this cultivation for you, or
I was curious.
You know what I mean? Would they do some of the connections? Because you're always in this awkward position given your kind of quasi-public position, as is the HOCP staff. So I guess that's it's one thing to have the resources, it's another thing to have the help in actually connecting with the donors.
Yes, I think that's definitely something that we can talk to them about. And a part of this strategy with staffing is thinking about, can they assist with creating a position that would be best suited in a high-level leadership role to help essentially be our VP of Strategic Development and Initiatives, like someone who could really take over the leadership role of this nonprofit. And so, yes, and they would also help with the recruitment of a top leader, but I would prefer that come out of their recommendations and then come to you all with that.
And then I guess last kind of follow up on that is just, or it might be clear to you, like once that person is an HOCP staff, are there, sorry, getting my grammar right here, are there any constraints on how they can be approaching HOC vendors, et cetera? And have you kind of like run that trap before you create, like even think about whether they come back with that position or not? Is that being clear? Like, is there?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, we have had to walk the line in terms of how we're outreaching to our vendors now in this capacity. I do believe that if we create a position that solely sits within the nonprofit, that gives a lot more flexibility in terms of what that looks like. And so we, of course, would have to get more legal guidance and make sure that we're not violating any ethics rules or obligations. And we also have gone to the county council and the county executive to get approval for HOC employees to even be able to do gift fundraising, and received approval to do that. So if we have to take certain steps, we'll definitely make sure we involve the ethics office for the county.
Chelsea, I also wonder, because this, at least one of the principals is local here. Have they run into this already with other clients that they have that, they may be able to give some preliminary info on that? Not to say that that takes the place of legal advice, but yeah.
Right. I can definitely double check.
I guess I was just like in this time frame of trying to hit the ground running kind of post June 30th, maybe running those traps no matter what with your legal counsel and ethics. So it's just clear before a lot of energy goes into thinking about job descriptions and all of that stuff. So I guess I would I feel like that's been so much ambiguity since I've been on this board that it would just be really nice to be like, here's what HOCP employees allowed to do. So.
Great point. Thank you for raising it.
Another quick question, Chelsea. As it relates to the top prospects list and the number 6, the county notables cultivation list, did you dig a little? I mean, it sounds like they do have good sort of connections and finger on the pulse of what's going on in Montgomery County specifically, which I think is really important for this effort, right? I mean, the local and the regional resource, development is going to come from folks who have really good sort of connective tissue and contacts here. Did they give any sort of teaser kind of initial feedback or thoughts on that gave you some confidence on because those are going to be some key pieces?
I think that what was most and I definitely looked to, I know that John was in the meeting and so was Davita when we did our introductory meeting. But it's the organizations that they've worked with and the success they've had with those fundraisers that gave me a reason to believe that they have connections that would be helpful for us. They did not drop any superstars' name in our initial meeting, but I do know that we did also tee up that we are also interested in thinking about not just people that would be on the board that are notables, but maybe people who would be in the entertainment space that would be willing to put this nonprofit as one of the nonprofits that they support, because there are a lot of large sports, people in sports, as well as in arts and entertainment that we haven't tapped into as well. And it sparked a level of enthusiasm with them as well in terms of how they can help us think that through. But to answer your question, they did not drop any particular name of notables. What they said was that they have the ability to create a prospects list. It felt from their meeting in our engagement with them that they have been successful in raising large amounts of money, which gave me the impression that they had those connections. But I did not go that step further and ask for their
Well, yeah, I figured they wouldn't have given you your list over. Or their list over, but I was just curious if they went into kind of any bit of detail or.
Yeah.
And I assume it's a mix. I assume everything's on the table from, individual giving, pitching regional foundations up to what you just described on the arts and entertainment and stuff like that. Great. Okay, I'll stop now.
So, who will be the main point of contact to fill them in and, jumpstart
Right.
this?
And it was the main principal who was who I met with, who indicated that she would remain our main point of contact. I'm trying to open up my document now. If we can scroll down, I believe we have profiles on each of the keep scrolling.
No, it's a separate document.
Oh, is it?
So,
John, do you happen to have the name?
AJ, if you could open up that.
There we are.
Yeah.
Great. We could scroll here.
It's Lynn English.
Yes. Thank you, Davida.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so, but we can keep scrolling. Her profile is included here.
Great.
They also have worked in the affordable housing space. They have understanding there. Keep scrolling. And so you see that there's a phase 2 that's envisioned also. And that included the thought that I shared earlier that we do a pulse to see how phase 1 is coming along. And so, yes, this is Lynn English, and let's see if her profile is included. Okay. And so, yes, she's one of the principals, and it shares what her experience has been working for other organizations. And keep scrolling. Yep. And so I know that Lynn would be our main point of contact. And then I do believe that she offered that there would be additional support from her team.
Awesome. And who will be the point of contact taking the lead on HOC's side?
So this is actually a combination. It will be Davida Rowley. It will be Tia Blunt, who is our Vice President of Public Affairs, and myself. Obviously, John will be engaged as well. And so all of us are going to play a key role in working with this consultant.
Awesome, because they will need a lot of input from HOC sides to jumpstart what they want to to
Yes.
get done. Yep. Right, very good. Any other questions? All right. So hearing no questions, I think we can go ahead and ask for a vote. So I'd like to ask for a motion to approve Resolution 26-04.
Motion
Any seconds?
enthusiastically.
Thank you.
Very good. Yes.
I think it'll be a good idea.
So,
Spreading out the knowledge of HOC and HOCP outside of the sort of network of people we already know.
so now we know, Ken and Teresa, that when Eileen is enthusiastic, she does say enthusiastically before.
Okay.
All right. So all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
All right. So
Thank you.
congratulations, Chelsea,
Exciting.
motion 26-04 is approved. This will be a big, I think, new chapter in HOCP's and HOC's books.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you
And
for
good
the
luck, and
support.
good
Yeah.
luck, and good luck, good luck.
Thank you.
So the next item is to amend the FY 2026 annual budget. John, you are taking the lead on this?
Yes, probably a combination of most of us here. So
Okay.
we have some important items to discuss of why we need to amend the budget. There were some reductions, as Davida alluded to, and we use that as cost-saving measures. But we also need to create a few new lines and increase a couple of lines. So looking on some of these items, of course, the new items that are
John, you want them to
most
scroll
apparent.
up a little bit for you?
Yeah, if you, I'm sorry, go to the actual the budget, just further down, AJ. Oh, we could do, yes, let's do that. Let's just go through the summary here. So you see some reductions and a short explanation of why they were reduced.
Well, John, you're not.
A little
it's
bit
not-
higher.
He moved on when you told
Yeah.
him to go down to the
Sorry.
budget. So do you want him to look
I
at that
apologize.
summary with the explanation? Because if so, we
Yes,
should just go back.
that probably would be best. I'm
I
sorry,
think that
jumped.
was good. No problem. And AJ is trying to keep up with us. So
Yeah, just
scroll
a
up
couple.
for us, AJ, please.
Scroll up, AJ.
Here
There you
we
go.
are. Thank you.
Yes. So this is the overall summary of all the changes that we're proposing. So just as the reductions, they're always easy to accept. The slight increases, we had a little more need than expected for the mattresses and of course holiday giving, and of course the other two are just administrative increases that we didn't expect. And then the new items, of course, we have $25,000 increased for a feasibility study of 880 Bonifant using HOC Works funds. Now, you remember HOC Works funds, that policy we also amended several months ago to include not just programmatic expenses, but also possibly capital and personnel related expenses that pertain to the enrichment of HOC customers, whether it's education, small business development, or anything related in that area. So Jay Shepard is here. He is in charge of that one too. Not just our HQ, but he's leading the charge on redeveloping 880 Bonifant. So Jay, if you'd like to say, give us a summary of what this is all about.
Okay, sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Jay Shepard, and I'm a housing acquisition manager in our real estate development group. And as John mentioned, the money will be used primarily for an architect who had done work on the past for us at that property to renovate it to make it a service center. But now there's more of an interest to create a center that would actually appeal to a lot more different uses that we intend to have for it, including primarily the work around what HOCP does. And so this is really the kickoff for us to be able to create kind of that scope that we can then create, how do we change this space to make it more accommodating for those uses? And then be able to bring in partners and be able to bring in folks that can actually help and contribute to making that ultimate vision come to life. So this is really just that first step. And Chelsea probably has some other things she wants to say, but I just wanted to throw that out just for the beginning of that next step.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jay. And again, this is step one. And just to be clear, the hope is that we will get a scope of work, which then we can pitch to all of the companies that are currently doing the great work of development across this county for us for millions and millions of dollars, who will be able to use their Section 3 contribution towards helping to actually make these modifications in the building. And so, but we just need to frame it out initially. And so, Jay and team have tapped the initial architect who helped us with the original design of the building. They will be, and I'm hopeful that I'm using the right term, architect, I believe. But anyway, they would be the consultant that we would bring back to give some additional insight on what can we do, what can we expand based on our current blueprints, et cetera. If there are no questions, we can move on to the next item, John.
All right. Yep.
Okay. So the next item is fatherhood program. You know, our fatherhood program started in 2015, thanks to grants we received from U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. And that was, so we received 2 cycles, 2 5-year cycles for that program. We applied again in 2025. But competition was really intense and the overall environment changed and we didn't fare as well and we were denied. It's a shock to us, but we didn't receive funding. So Chelsea and team and Davida made some changes internally so that our full-time staff complement would remain in-house and they were reassigned new duties. And so those personnel costs were absorbed by HOC, but there's some programmatic costs that are out there that we didn't expect. We thought that the grant would be in place. So basically this $50,000, we'd like to also use HOC Works funds for this as well, because it is related to enrichment and employment. So, and I think this covers at least us. It covers through the end of the fiscal year, I believe, right, Chelsea or Davida?
Yes.
Correct.
And I'll chime in here. Definitely, this was a shock for us because our program has been hailed as one of the top programs in the nation. And we've been heavily involved in even the build out of a new design in terms of how the program should be structured. It was definitely a model program, and we were the only housing authority to have the fatherhood initiative. That being said, and it has helped hundreds and hundreds of fathers. It's a program that's dear to us and that we will continue. And we've thought through multiple ways to keep it moving. Many of the support providers for this program are through partnerships. So we're able to keep the heart and soul of this program through some of the great work that Davida and her team has done in creating a program that's built on partnerships, but there are costs that are outside of the partnerships that we need to think through supporting. We are asking at this juncture for a bridge fund here of $50,000. I have a larger proposal going before the county council and asking the county to support this program moving forward. I am hopeful that we will get support in that way, and as a result, after this tranche, being able to lean on our county partners to keep this program going. But definitely until that time, we're looking for the nonprofit to support. I will say that we're also reaching out to individual donors. There's been a few that have had interest in thinking about if they could support this program. If that does happen, we would, of course, gladly accept those resources and come back to the board to say that we have been successful in raising additional funds for the program and provide the funds back to the nonprofit. So, but open to any questions. Davita is available to answer questions as well. And definitely hopeful that you will support this request so that we can continue this great program.
Do you anticipate, just given the reality of the political climate, that you would get this funded in a future year, or do we see this as something that we're going to be fundraising for from now on?
Mm-hmm. Well, I believe on the county side that our county legislators are very much aligned with our priorities and also very aware and knowledgeable of our fatherhood initiative and supportive. So I believe that we would get county funding. The challenge more so is if they have funding available, not necessarily. And just so that you're aware, for example, the new fatherhood initiative criteria had a great deal of emphasis on being married, right? And a lot of our customers in the program were not married. And so in terms of the underlying core values, we do believe that the county council would support that. But if there are, if we're competing with schools and everyone else in terms of budget shortfalls that the county may experience, we may find ourselves constantly having to fundraise. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I one would imagine HHS will continue to reject your application because they'll continue. I'm just saying, let's be real here. This does, to me, this would be good, potentially thinking about talking to your newly hired fundraising consultants. I feel like this is a story that some things are easier to raise money for. And this one feels like it has success written all over it, right? Especially if you've been doing it for a while and you have some folks who are willing to, have a quote, have a little video, who've gone through it.
Yeah.
I think this could be a very good example of just raising. And to me, if you raise money, you should just be putting it forward till next year and holding it for this, right? Like at this point, it shouldn't really be like, give back this money. I think it's, if this is something you guys feel really works well, which is what I'm hearing that you do, then, how do you keep it? How do you scale it? But it does, on the face of it, to me, I'm like, oh, this is a thing that like, I wouldn't mind trying to raise money for, right? Like that it would resonate better. So I think in all the things that obviously you want unrestricted, but unrestricted's hard to get. So, at the other end, it's still all money's fungible, right? So if you can raise more in A, then you can pay for the thing that just doesn't sing to donors in the same way, even though we know it's incredibly important. So that's just my gut here. This is plus you have a track record,
Yes, great feedback. And definitely we have a great deal of collateral and data to support the success of this program. And so we will jump right in with English Hudson in terms of thinking through how we support a very dedicated fundraising effort for this.
Chelsea, to piggyback on what Eileen just said, I think what she raised around, this is one that seems like it would be, fun to fundraise around, but also has a lot of just success written all over it, is having English Hudson do a deep dive with Davita and her team on all the resident service work that we're doing and and come up and say these are like, you know, we think these are, you know, low hanging fruit in terms of fundraising for you know, folks and prospects that we know in Montgomery County. I just think there's, you know, to Eileen's point, thinking about those things that, you know, maybe we are just right for, you know, natural, clear, crisp messaging that has data around it to your, you know, those are even, you know, better. And I don't know, Alexandra, if you have anything to share on that side, just, you know, from your experience on the resident services stuff, working with SAFE members, but I think that's really great.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that's why Davita is going to be one of the key point persons. And so a big part of what they will be doing is looking at all of the programs that we fundraise for. What do we do? What should we lift up? What should that messaging look like? How can we convey it? Should there be segmented language based on different audiences? But agree wholeheartedly and appreciate the feedback. And then I think this last item is really, we've already talked about it, the development consultant. And so that summarizes, if you could scroll up a little bit, AJ, for us. Ultimately, with the ups and downs, the net change is a $77,450 increase in the organizational budget. The good news is we do have these funds available here, and it does not create a strain on the organization. It would increase our overall budget this year to $569,950, but definitely reflect, I think, a great path forward for the organization and wonderful work in terms of the efforts we'd be supporting here. And so I think what we would hope for, and I don't know if you could scroll up for me, AJ, there is a request that would need to be supported by way of a resolution. And if we can scroll up and see if anyone is open to advancing this amendment to our budget.
Any questions? Any further comments? All right. Hearing none, I would like to ask for a motion to approve Resolution 26-05.
I motion.
Right.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Yeah. Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right. Resolution 26-05 is approved. All right. The next agenda item is a deliberation on future meetings for 2026.
Yes, there's definitely, I think, an opportunity for us to, especially considering how, again, grateful we are for your time, being thoughtful about how we use your time, as well as thinking about, is there a good day, time that we should schedule meetings moving forward? There's been the conversation around the potential of scheduling, maybe a every other month check-in. Thank you, Jay. And or a certain day of the week. I know, John, at various points you've done doodle polls or tried to determine what might be a good cadence here, but wanted to open, because I think a big part of the challenge and the commitment is when you don't know which day of the week and what month we're meeting, trying to schedule the time. And so wanted to open for thoughts on how we might approach this. We could obviously put out another doodle poll to see if there's a certain day of the week or a time that works. Obviously, we'll have our brand new beautiful building, and we can also host in person and hybrid, but wanted to just allow you all to talk about this a little bit with us so that we can get it right this year. And so does an every other month, certain day a week, 1 hour commitment seem like it might work for you all? And then John, please feel free to jump in here if there are other considerations that I should be lifting up.
Well, of course, the most important meeting is when we approve the new budget. So that we would have to meet sometime in June. That would definitely be one meeting date. And then, historically, we usually met in August, and then depending, well, we have our upcoming Inspire celebration. So, if it would be good to have bi-monthly just to check in, to go over the
Sure.
financials and talk about program progress, see how it aligns with HOC strategic planning, implementation reporting, because many of, or a few of the metrics that resident services has in the strategic plan are somewhat connected with HOCP and our fundraising ability and support. So, so if we can figure out a cadence where we definitely meet in June, I don't know if we want to meet again in April and June and maybe September, November, something like that works. It wouldn't be a strict bi-monthly, but at least close enough. I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought we were trying to meet bi-monthly, but if it does, if this works a little bit better, recognizing the new need for the meeting in June and then stagger it a little bit, if that's fine. If you don't need our input before then.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I would just say 5:30 is a lot better than 5.
100%. I agree with that, Eileen.
And
Okay.
I think if you want us to meet in person, then it's probably worth making an hour and a half, like have a meeting in person that you use us being in person for something. So it could be twice in person and the rest of the times, and I would say Monday or Tuesday is, well, I don't know what day, certainly not Fridays and probably not Thursdays. So I'm not sure what evening works better. Certain months are just harder than other months, but if we can get it on the calendar farther in advance, at least then we have it on the calendar. If we know we can't come, we can tell you. If you get a couple people who tell you, you can change it. Like the 2 weeks out thing just really doesn't work
That would
well.
help.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. More than like
Yep.
the specific day of the week, it's just having it on the calendar, as far in advance as possible. But I do agree with Eileen, kind of earlier in the week is better.
Okay.
Yep.
Earlier in the week, 5:30. Okay, Ken, you were getting ready to say something?
Oh, I was going to say the idea of having a meeting or two in person, I think is important. Maybe the budget meeting, if we possibly can, and then one other one, if possible.
I'd also like, as we bring on the consultant, maybe that's an in-person meeting,
Oh, sure.
that we bring them in to give their assessment to the board. So we definitely know we're going to have that meeting. And so, yes.
Okay.
I have a feeling this board is anticipating this meeting with the consultant, so I think that will be a good show. But another thing, I think it might be a good idea, like, maybe a week or 2 weeks before the meeting that we have sort of a check-in with the board, just so that if we are not going to get a quorum for one reason or another, then we can at least cancel the meeting, and so the others don't have to come in, especially if it's in person.
Absolutely, we'll do.
All right.
Okay, so we'll take these cues. We'll create a proposed list of dates for upcoming meetings. We'll circulate them and ask if you have any hard dates that don't work based on the proposed to let us know. And we'll try our best to kind of calendar out the year. And then, of course, knowing that we might need some flexibility depending on as we get closer to those dates quorum. So.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Chelsea, and you have some staff announcements?
I do. I must say, as we start off this year, that we're starting off with a bittersweet announcement, and it pertains to John Voss, who has been with us for over 26 years. I got that right, John? I mean, who's counting?
Yes.
It's been decades of support that HOC and HOCP has had with John being with us. John is retiring. You may or may not know that John's work is a pastor as well, and so he'll be giving his full time to that work, which is also great work, of course. And so he's let us know that he will be retiring at the end of February.
Oh my
But
gosh, that's too soon.
that's
Yeah.
exactly how
Oh,
I feel. Exactly how I feel, which may mean we'll have to have John come join us for our first in-person meeting as a special invited guest.
Yes.
But
Definitely. Yeah.
John, please, of course, this is bittersweet. You know, you want to hold on, but at the same time, you recognize when someone has done great work and it's time for them to have a chance to set their own schedule and live a little more freely. So we're just very grateful. And I will say that I mean, I'm very thankful that the timing is working, that we're also bringing in a consultant. As you can imagine, how important that action item was here today. And so, with that, I'll turn to you, John, for any comments you may have.
Yes, it is bittersweet for me too. Um, it's been an honor and a pleasure and very fulfilling to work at HOC. Um, and I've had the opportunity to experience HOC work on various levels. The frontline staff started as a resident counselor and also in various other positions leading up to this current position. But it's really amazing to think about the work that I was able to do and to touch so many lives through the grants that we received, through all the fundraising resources that we were able to secure, and to work with all of you to envision how to strengthen this partnership between HOC and HOCP, how to bring in additional resources and partners, how our most recent exercise of composing our new strategic plan for 5 years, it was very, very enlightening, and it was at times maybe not so pleasant, but it was definitely very much needed, and it made us talk about things that were so crucial for formulating our future and how we could expand our influence and our impact on the lives of so many HOC customers. So I have to admit, I feel guilty that I'm leaving. I second guess myself every day I wake up. And seeing your faces makes me second guess myself even more. And hearing about the plans, this is an exciting year that's about to unfold. Very exciting year. We just started our Inspire celebration planning with our LPA team. Today was our first meeting and talking about ideas, big picture right now, nothing concrete, but just that is just exciting. And what Davita's team is planning for the rest of this year and going beyond, and the wealth of experience that she brings to the table and how we could really expand on HOCP's impact. There's a lot going for us, and I'm in that way I'm sad that I'm leaving. If once we go through all the list of things that have to be done, Chelsea, and we have to rethink my schedule, I'm open to that.
Oh, let the record reflect that John just indicated that he is open to staying on a little longer. We'll talk a little later, John.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll miss you, John.
Yeah.
We've been together for a long time, doing different things at different stages in careers.
Yeah.
And uh, I'm gonna miss, just the talk back and forth between the two of us. So Good luck in what you want to do in the future, and I hope you enjoy it. Yep.
I will say that John is committed to helping us have the most seamless transition as possible. So, in terms of helping us think through the checklist and even, I mean, you know, creating folders for us. And these are all the things that we've done in the past. And, you know, it's going to really work very closely with our team to make sure that we don't drop the ball. And I'm just thanking you in advance, John, for that. And definitely, we've gotten to this stage because of the great work that you've done in making sure that this nonprofit continues to have a heartbeat and through ups and downs. And so just very, very appreciative of you and all that you've done. So somebody has to give some good news since we're at the end of this meeting here today. Anybody have any good news?
Well, I think the good news is that John's going to be joining us as a partner at Partner
That's
Fest
it.
and
Yes.
Exactly.
Fire
Yeah.
as you know, on the other side. So don't be a stranger, John.
Yeah, please.
So
Okay.
I've worked with John for almost a decade now. John, we're going to add you in the donor list now.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Lifetime
Yes.
time for you to give
partner.
back.
Yeah.
You want your time and your money, John.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
John,
yes.
All right.
I wish you the very
Good.
best, John. This is a big
Yep.
achievement. So yeah, it's
Good for you.
yeah.
thank
Good
you.
luck. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.
That's our
So
update.
I
So
think we
we'll
still
be in
need a
touch.
motion, right? We still need a motion.
Oh.
I would like to ask,
To adjourn,
if there's no
yes.
further
Oh,
business,
to adjourn?
so
Yep.
like a motion to adjourn this bittersweet meeting. And I hope somebody would enthusiastically move the motion.
Motion.
Right.
I motion.
All right.
Yep.
Anybody seconds this enthusiastically?
Yes.
All
Lean
right.
enthusiastically appreciates John.
Yep.
All right. All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Hey,
All right.
everyone.
All right.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
Good
guys.
night.
everyone.
Thank
Enjoy
you
it.
so much.
Everyone.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye.
Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye, John.
Bye-bye.